Brian. David Moore, Dallas Morning News. With the way CeeDee's been emerging here over these last 3 games, can you talk about what that gives you offensively, and going forward, does that give you, I don't want to say advantage, or does it change when you're looking at what opponents are going to do when you've established one person like that, as far as how they're going to come at you defensively a little bit?
Well, it's a credit to CeeDee first and foremost. I mean, he's been, since he came out with his frustration, whatever game that was, he's put the work in on the practice field. Again, he's worked with a different intentionality, a different intensity in practice. It's been awesome to see. I remember the first practice after, I can't remember the game, you guys might remember, but again, just every rep was like full speed. The competitive drills were unbelievable. So it's a credit to him. The timing and stuff with Dak's been awesome. We try to move him around. We try to put him in different spots. You'll see him isolated. You'll see him in the slot. You'll see him in the backfield. I mean, that's all part of the game plan. And, again, that speaks to his football IQ. The guy gets football. You talk to him on the sidelines, and he knows what's going on. He knows where his help's coming from. He knows, hey, I can win on that route. Hey, this guy's going to play me outside leverage. So, again, when we have conversations on the sideline when the drive's over, he's a great guy to talk to because the feedback that he gives you is usually dead on. And so, it's just each week is different. I'm certainly aware that production makes people want to try to stop him, but they have to stop him. And again, he's got such a great feel with Dak that even when he's covered, he's not really covered. Because we can throw the ball in certain spots. And to me, that's when you've got that I talked about last week, that me to you factor, where he's covered or he's doubled, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna throw it to a certain spot. The first little double move on the first drive, he was doubled. The safety and the nickel both had him, and he broke in and broke out on the double move, and that just shows you that, again, elite player that's doubled isn't always get taken away.
Clarence Hill, 4-Star Telegram. How well is Dak playing right now? What are you seeing from him with his arm and his legs?
Yeah, just exceptional. Again, the confidence that he has right now is really something I wish that you guys, the fans, could sense. Just sitting there on the sidelines talking to him. Just doesn't matter the score of the game, 28-17, 17-14, doesn't matter. We had no question in our minds we were going to win that game. We're going to find a way to win the game. And there's a confidence, there's an ownership, there's a, just elite decision-making that he's making right now. And then, again, our ability to play above the 2.3 is maybe something that we were missing early in the season. And now, whether it was a scramble to Tolbert, we had 2 big scrambles to Tolbert, right? The one to get us down there and then the touchdown. But extremely comfortable, extremely confident. And, again, talked about last week, watch his feet. His feet tell you all you need to know. He is back there and his back foot's dug in and the ball's coming out. And not only is he on time, but the accuracy and where he's throwing the ball it has been elite. So excited about that. And, again, it's not just something that's come on. I mean, the guy works at it tirelessly. He's the guy that's the last to leave the practice field. If he misses a throw, he's throwing it after practice. And he's got those guys that want to do that for him. So
Playing above the 2.3, we talked to him last night, and he just talked about, we talked about his movement and running. He said it's part of the system. Playing above the 2.3, that's part of the system. Was that not in the system last year?
I can't really speak to that. Obviously, I will say this. Everybody in the National Football League talks about it. There's different ways you teach it and train it. There's escape lanes and things that you teach based on defensive fronts and how they want to rush. Are they a contained operation where they're going to play wide and open up an inside gap, a B gap? And I think he understands that. And he's able to keep his focus down the field and feel those lanes, which is a huge part of it. And then, again, once you break, you've got the choice because you're not necessarily going to run, you're not necessarily going to throw, but he's doing a great job with his eye discipline of working kind of outside, inside, back outside, which is why he's having such success with it. So there's an emphasis from us offensively, but again, he's got a great feel of how it plays out. Obviously a great front that we played yesterday, and the way they rush opens up some lanes, and he was able to get out and make some great things happen.
Brian Schottenheimer with ESPN. Terrence struggled at times yesterday. Why isn't it as simple as, hey, Jake, before you go out, just knock that guy down, or hey, running back, you come over here. Why isn't it as simple as that?
Well, first of all, I think, Terrence knows he can play better, and I think he will play better. If you watch the game, he had some really great sets. And again, again, that front four, Reddick's an elite rusher, Brandon Graham, elite rusher. But, you watch Terrence, there's some beautiful sets on there. Like, it's not that he needs help. Again, you mix those in. You do send help. We help both sides. You'll see it. We get some double edge helps just when you play a defense like that. Because one of the things about doing that is you frustrate them. The edge players want to play on open edges. They want to be able to get off on the ball, especially in a loud environment like last night where, the fans are going crazy and they're trying to key the snap. But so number one, total confidence in Terrence. The answer to your question is how many guys you want to get out. So if they're playing a lot of zone defense and you're only getting 3 guys out if you're chipping or 2 guys out if you're chipping both sides, you now are a little bit outmanned versus certain coverages. So based on what the defense wants to do and what we game plan, we've always got the ability to help. But again, we have zero doubts in Terrence. It's just, again, keep working on his fundamentals, keep working on his punch. Those guys give lots of guys fits. And again, he'll bounce back this week, have a hell of a week, and be ready to roll on Sunday.
Brian, Side News with The Athletic. Two of your recent stops, Andrew Luck and blanking on
Trevor? Russ?
Russ.
Russ?
Yes. 2 guys that mobile quarterbacks that I'm curious, how much do you bring those concepts or anything like that and kind of tell Dak of what you saw maybe Andrew do or Russell do or things like that? How much have you kind of done that?
No, I mean, again, each guy's different. The way they play is different. I think the biggest thing is there's a philosophy that everybody has in terms of the key to playing above the 2.3 is not just the escape of the quarterback, it's the initial and sudden reaction of the skill player. You go to the Jalen Tolbert touchdown, right? Like Jalen's running a backside route, and when Dak gets out, the immediacy that Jalen stopped and came back out is what got him free from Bradbury, right? Who's, really a smart corner and has played a ton of football. So, again, I think it's more of us emphasizing that. But, again, it's something that we drill every day in practice. There's concepts like we've talked about where if he knows how to throw a certain route concept, then, hey, go ahead and scramble because we're training, again, the escape path that we were talking about earlier. We're training the reaction by the receivers. But that's just a cool clip that brings it to life. It's how sudden we react. If we react first, usually good things happen. If we don't react immediately or we're a little slow coming out of it, then the defense usually has the advantage at that point.
Dan Quinn was just talking about the traits that Dak has that make you want to play for him and things like that. Quarterbacks are always seen as the de facto leaders, but is there something about Dak that separates him in that regard?
Man, I could go on forever. I would just say there's a calm, an inner peace that's very evident. If you watch him, I know you guys see it, he works the sideline really well. Not just the offense, the defense. There's constant communication. Usually we're sitting down, we'll make some adjustments, we'll talk about some things that we're seeing, and then he's up, and it's going to talk to the offensive line, going to talk to the running backs, going to support the defense. And I think that's a huge part of being the leader, and that's that everybody feels you. Everybody gets a sense of how calm you are. Hey, we expected to win that game. We came up short, but that was the conversation on the sidelines. Even when we got the ball back and had a long way to go late, I mean, we truly believed that we were going to find a way to win that game, and it starts certainly with him. And his inner calm is really, really cool.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. How would you assess your running game right now?
Again, up and down. The thing about the running game, right, is like the more attempts you get, the better flow you get into, right? So it starts with that. Some weeks, you game plan, hey, let's go out there. We plan on running it 35 times, and maybe you do, and sometimes you're like, hey, the game doesn't play out that way, and you got to adjust. But I think we're close on some things. I think, our interior 3, talking about Tyler, Smith, Biotic, and Zach, I mean, those guys give you a chance running the football. A couple of our more productive runs yesterday, you watch those guys working in combination and getting the movement against, again, a couple elite defensive tackles, whether it's Fletcher or Jalen Carter, those guys. So that gets you excited. But more than anything, you got to get everybody involved. And talking about just the attempts. The attempts is the biggest thing. And we had a couple I thought were getting ready to get out, and they didn't. Linebacker made a great play on a toss play to Tony down their sideline and knocked him out of bounds. I thought there was a chance for a little bit more there. But we'll get better. And, again, the thing we always say is you want to be able to run the football when they know you're going to run it. And that's when you know you're a good rushing attack.
You have 2 months to go in the regular season. This is a quote-unquote new role for you outside of calling plays. How comfortable are you with what you're doing right now?
I love it. Not calling the plays, you get a chance to interact with everybody. You're interacting with Mike. You're interacting with the run game. You're talking to the linemen. You're making adjustments. I just love this team. I love what we have in that locker room. I am so disappointed that we didn't find a way to win that game. Why? Because those players played as hard as they could play yesterday. I mean, they literally gave it everything that they had. And, those games give you a lot of confidence. That sounds crazy, but you can go up against a team like that and even with your backs against the wall, find a way to put yourself in position. So it's been an awesome journey, and we got a long way to go. Excited about this week. Be another awesome matchup against another division opponent, but there's something special here, and it starts with the people.
Justin Barnes, Pro Football Network. Coach, where would you assess your tight ends being one of the younger groups within the whole team? How have they really stepped up, and specifically Jake, how has he taken that lead role?
Yeah, I mean, Fergie just playing at an extremely high level. I mean, you just saw what he was able to do in every facet yesterday. He had a big fourth down conversion for us on a little under route. Obviously, the touchdown is amazing, but you talk about a guy that plays the game the right way. I mean, I don't know how much shit he talks, but he definitely talks shit. He has fun. He's passionate about what he's doing. Again, he loves it, and he's truly his biggest critic. Like, he's hard on himself, but to see him from the start of the offseason to where he's at now, I wouldn't say surprises me, but, I mean, he is playing at an elite level. And, again, I think he's just scratching the surface. I think there's a me to you that Dak and he have developing like CeeDee and Dak have, and it's really cool to see. And then the run game stuff, obviously, nobody talks enough about that, but, he can be dominant at the point of attack for us too.
Scotty Dixon with the AP. Back to CeeDee, the give me the damn ball moment was the San Francisco game, by the way.
Thank you.
And I know
Try to forget that game. Yeah.
I know you're going to tell me it's a question for him, but I'm just curious from your point of view, how much of a catalyst do you think that particular game and coming out of that was for him?
I think anytime you put all your chips in and you come out with a strong statement, which again I told you guys I love. I love competitive receivers. I've never been around one that was a great player that wasn't competitive and didn't want the ball. But the beauty of it is the way he has worked. The cool thing about CeeDee is you can get him the ball different ways, right? You can get him the ball down the field. You can get him the ball underneath. I guess I probably didn't realize, certainly watching him from afar in other places like Seattle, is how good he is with the ball in his hands. I mean, he has a knack. He runs like a running back with the ball in his hands. That's why he's a tough tackle. But again, the physical attributes are obviously special. The mental makeup and the football instincts are the thing that, again, if you don't talk about that, you're missing the boat, because you're talking about a guy that we literally move around, and we have all these different tags where he's got to go to different spots, and that's the beauty of why he's such a weapon, because we can move him around. I've been around some receivers in the past where they're more of a one-position guy, and it's easier to do what? Double him, find him. Where is he? He's here, he's there. And with CeeDee, that's not the case, because, again, he is just so his FBI is off the charts.
Peyton Wolfenberg, Cowboys Radio. Brian, so the last play, you got 5 seconds. They're obviously 20 yards deep. Do you have something built in that, whether it be a quick out or a stop and get out of bounds, when you get that kind of a look and you had another down to go to it?
Yeah, that.
And in retrospect, did you kind of look at it and go, man, wish we had got us a little closer for the last shot in?
When you look at the play, obviously, we really want it from the 22. Anytime you're a little bit closer, it helps. We got backed up. We lost 5 yards. But with 5 seconds, you're right on that mark, babe, where you're like, hey, you throw the ball out of bounds and you're playing in Philly, clock operator. We were very comfortable with the call. If you watch them, they did adjust, so we got the penalty, and they were playing kind of not normal. They were playing soft, but then the minute we got the penalty, backed it up, they sent everybody back deep. And it's one of those plays, man, where it was kind of our guy to have it call, and give them some credit. They made the tackle. CeeDee with a yard or two to go, I think, like I just spoke to. There's a chance that he gets in there.
Oh, yeah, no issue with the play call.
Yeah.
Just wondering if you were trying to just.
We certainly have the ability when they play soft that we can move the ball. Because like I said, the closer you get, the better it is. So we've got them basically, each area's got 2 or 3 calls by priority each week that you like, say from the 15 to the 10, from the 15 to the 25, and that's the sheet that you're working off in that situation.
Who's be the last two, Michael?
Michael Jacob, Dallas Morning News. Tyron Smith had a really solid game there last night. For you, what caught your eye most, and just maybe take that and expand upon just more broadly, like the impression that Tyron made on you?
Yeah, played unbelievable. I thought really the whole left side of the line played awesome. It's really, for any O-line, D-lineman experts in here, like it's a really cool video to go watch the end zone copy, to watch those guys battle, just across the board, our 5 versus their 5 or their 4. I thought Tyron looked very comfortable yesterday. He looked very comfortable. He was really square with his sets. His punches were great. Anytime it's a quiet day that you don't, even notice, he's played his ass off, which he certainly did. The cool thing talking to Tyron is, how excited he is to be working next to a Tyler Smith, because again, those two guys together are obviously a very formidable duo, and so he was excited about that. But you think about it, they haven't played a whole lot together, so we're thrilled to be able to keep building on that, moving into this week and beyond as we're getting ready to go into this stretch, and just watch those two guys play together, because again, they work really, really well together, both in the pass and the run game.
Last one.
It seemed like on both the 4th down play to Tolbert and the play to Schoonmaker at the goal line that Dak had somebody open in the middle, which is potentially an easier throw, and went to the outside throw, which would be a more difficult play to make. Did he just not see either guy, or did he already checked off both of them?
No, the one to Scooney, again, he's got the choice to go either way. He liked the side, that he worked. You saw the guy hesitate for a second, and guy made a great play, and literally it was inches. So, and he's been on top of those. He has a reason based on matchup, based on design, based on where the safety is. There's so much that goes into it, but the decision making he made down there was really, really good. He was on top of it. Again, wish Scooney would have got a hair deeper, but again, young player, learns from it, and again, it was a hell of a catch.
The one that Tolbert on the 4th down didn't get converted.
Yeah, the one late.
Yeah, there was the drive, the next to last drive.
Help me.
4th and 8 when he threw to
Forward.
Oh, yeah. Again, So Fergie got a free release, right? He saw the matchup. He thought he was going to work the X, and again, that's one of those things where when it works, it's great, and when it doesn't. But again, he felt good about the matchup, and Fergie ran a great route, and it can really go either side. All right. Thanks, guys.